Hello, my L's and G's, simply means ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another thrilling, exciting interaction on our channel. On this platform, we learn and talk to Africa without boarding a flight. Yes, as I always say, we need to come together and make Africa a better place to live because we belong here and this is home. I'm your host, Tazi Reigns, and today we have another great man. Yes, our channel is blessed to have another fan who has been supporting our page, and he has been moving in and out of Ghana. And finally, from my investigation, he wants to live here. Let's find out why he wants to embark on this journey. Has our page make an impact? Well, before we dig out for our answers, please don't forget to hit the bell notification, like, share and comment, because we belong in Africa is here to stay. Come with me and let's dig out our answers. Hello, Mr. Kirko. Good evening. I'm fine. Yourself?
Good, great.
Welcome to Ghana.
Thank you.
How was the flight?
It was long, but it's long but well worth it.
Yeah. Okay. From my investigation, I heard you're not a Ghanaian, but you're Mr. Kirko, and Kirko is a Ghanaian. So how did you come to Ghana?
Well, I was fascinated with West Africa, and I wanted to get an African name, be closer to home. So I did my research, knowing that people in Ghana is custom to name the child after the date that they were born. So I did my research, and I found out that since I was born on a Wednesday, my name would be Kwaku.
That's so true.
Right.
Alright, so share with us, we are getting to know you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you introduce yourself properly to our viewers? Because all I know is that you're Mr. Kwaku.
Right. Well, I'm from the States, live in Houston, Texas. I traveled around. I traveled to 4 continents and 32 countries, and this is like neck and neck with Jamaica, which is like my second home basically. I normally go to Jamaica at least 2 or 3 times a year, but now I found my new home, and it's here in Ghana.
That's great. Alright, so can you share with us one major incident that happened or that you encountered that pressed you so hard that you have to move to Ghana?
Well, the thing is, I like that is everything is black.
Right.
And not white people or other kind of races. Everything is black, and I feel more safer around my people that look like me. So that's basically it, and I chose the motherland, which is my roots, where they come from.
That's a good piece. If you don't mind, can we know where exactly you root from?
Where I come from?
Yeah.
Well, I live in Houston, Texas. I live there.
That's where you were born in.
No, I was born in Louisiana.
Where's that?
It's next to Texas.
Okay.
I was born in Louisiana, and then my mother and I moved to Houston, Texas.
So you have an African root or descendants of?
Well, my mother came to Ghana in the late 80s, and I wanted to do the exact same thing that she did.
So, being a diaspora or African American, how does that make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel good that to be accepted among my brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
and to know the history on which we came, because we all came from various ports of West Africa, from Senegal to Congo. And when I did my DNA, I have a lot of traits, hits that come from Ghana, as well as Congo, as well as Nigeria. and Mali.
I see.
Right.
So how does that make you feel from coming from having a trade from Ghana, Congo, Nigeria?
It it makes me feel good because I know where I came from, where my people came from.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Right. You're very right. So as a diaspora or African American, those who are born in America, do you consider them as Africans?
Yes, yes, I consider them as African because even though they were born in America, they're still African in my book, as well as the other black people that live all around the world in Jamaica and Brazil, all over the Caribbean islands. You know, they're just a African Jamaican or African Brazilian because that's where our roots came from. All because the boat took us from here to this coast to that coast doesn't mean there's less African.
That's right. And again, do you see the necessity for a diaspora or African American to find their roots?
Right.
Because I know a lot of people do not care,
Right.
or some of them like, I was born here, I'm here.
Yeah.
That's where I belong. Like, it doesn't matter where I'm coming from. But do you think it's very necessary for them to find their roots?
Yes, for the ones who are awakened, then yes, it's so, because we have so much connect to West Africa that they seem to realize. Like a lot of the food that they like, you know, a lot of people don't know that a lot of the food comes from West Africa, like your yams and your okra and your watermelon and various other fruits, you know, and other little things. Like down south in Louisiana, we like gumbo, but gumbo is French for okra, and okra was one of the vegetables that they carried from West Africa to the Americans, as well as rice also.
Okay. You know, our channel we belong in Africa, and we actually telling the world that even if you're not here, you need to come and see, because a lot of people that have watched things on news from the internet that are not true. Okay, so vice versa. So, and those who live there, who are Africans, who also live there, that we are telling them, hey, come back home, come and see it for yourself. Yeah. So I'm saying, my question on that is, do you perceive that returning home is the only thing that you can do to contribute in the development of Africa? Or you can still be wherever you are and still contribute to the development of the country?
Yes, I believe it doesn't matter whether you come home or you help get home, because as long as you help and contribute to your brothers and sisters, all help is a good help. But I encourage every black person to try to go to Africa to see what everything they've been lied to or not been told in the history classes in the States.
Okay. So with what I've asked, what will be, you know, a lot of the youth want to travel, and a lot of us want to go. Likewise, when it comes to education, job opportunities, and making money. Okay. So what will be your contribution for we the youth, especially as you're moving back home? What will you do to contribute so that the traveling out or fleeing out from Africa will be limited?
Well, my contribution in one of them is to bridge the gap for Africans and African Americans, because there is a culture difference, you know, on certain aspects. So my thing is to help bridge the gap to tell you how they are thinking and to tell them how you are thinking and how can we come together for the common goal.
So, okay, for me like that, I want to travel to America because of one, job opportunity.
Right.
Because let's say what I'm gaining in here in Ghana is little, and I feel like when I go to America, I'll gain more. So I want to go there. Okay, so now that we are embarking on this journey, that people have to come to Ghana, people have to come back home and invest.
Yes.
To you, what can you do for the country? That when I see, okay, there is this great man who has moved in doing something like this, and I think maybe because you have stayed there for a longer time, you know the system, you know how to treat people, how to pay them well. Like, what are you going to do to contribute in the economy? For me as a youth, I just change my mind. Whatever I'm going up there to look for is here. Do you get the question?
Yeah. Well, like I said, everything is about knowledge,
Right.
and having someone that is very knowledgeable or that can get the information that you need in certain expertise. Because I know some people move here with their expertise in building or their expertise in education and open up a school. My thing is not really start a business, but to be more like a solid investor. Right.
That's nice. Okay, moving back in here, you have already been here in and out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so have you encountered any challenges or negative thing that you think it will not be healthy for other foreigners to see it? So we should look at, because maybe a minister might see this, someone might see this, so that we can change that narrative.
No, I haven't. I have not encountered any negative pushback from anyone. It's been all love. People have welcomed me with open arms, and I feel the same way. You know, to get love, you have to receive love. So that's it.
Right. And how has been the experience living in Ghana so far?
Oh, it's terrific. It's an awesome feeling. Everything is gorgeous. The people are friendly. The culture is lovely. Everything is, like I said, black, brother, sister, and everybody is so friendly and so willing to help you out.
And you said culture. Have you had any cultural shock so far?
No, not really, because I feel that I am like a world traveler. Since I traveled to over 30 countries, I done seen a lot of things and witnessed a lot of things with my own eyes. So anything culture to me, no, but to the next person, it might be a shocker, but I haven't seen anything that wowed me or surprised me.
Okay, let's go back to your first time in Ghana, or your first time you visited Ghana.
Right.
Okay, or you going and coming back. How has the settling in been like in terms of transportation, communication, your food, your residence, healthcare? How has it been like?
Well, I'm not sure about healthcare because I haven't got sick yet, and everything else, the shopping, get my hair cut, get my manicure, going to the clubs, going to the mall, everything's the same like I'm in the States. So I'm not missing anything. Everything in the States, trust me, is here in Ghana. Anything you want a spa, you want a massage, everything you can think of is right here in Ghana, because people have went abroad and came back and brought those things to here to Ghana, right?
As you said, everything is in here. So whatever you have in mind, whatever business plan you have in mind, you should come and invest, because we're here to stay. And so let me go to my next question, that is looking at all African countries as a whole, and since you have traveled a lot, what do you think we lack as Africans, in your view or your thoughts, when we put in place, what measures can we put in place for us to do well, or when we look at, or when we put that measures in place, we think Africa will do well when it comes to 5 to 10 years to come?
I see the power structure system, the blackouts for one thing, and the cell phone service has to be improved. It's not bad, but it has to improve. Everything can improve. But those are the only things that I say that really needs improvement, and the minds have to get together to figure out a way to make it work better.
So when you say cell phones, how do you mean? Like, how do you want it to be improved? Is it the internet connection? Is it the data? Well,
it's everything. It's the internet connections. It falls. It fails sometimes. The power goes out sometimes, but not all the time. It don't stay out too long. But I mean, Ghana is maybe 70 years old. So it's still developing. It's still growing. Still has so much potential. And I see it coming in the forehand when a lot of people are coming and see what's needed and try to get their resources together to make everything wonderful.
So, as Africans as we are, that yes, we are independent and all that, but I still feel like we are still enslaved, because some of the things we are not able to do it on our own. Even if we produce them raw, we still export them and buy them when they go to finished goods. So as Africans, what do you think we can do to improve our economy, status, and all that?
Well, one, I believe education. For the things that need to improve, someone needs to bring that education and that technology back here to use the resources that here is in Ghana. Like, for one thing, I know Ghana is, I think, the #1 export of cocoa. I think Ghana needs to charge more money for cocoa that has been so less. So that's one thing, how to corner the market and make an impact, so the farmers or the cocoa can make more money.
What advice will you give to the youth that are so eager to flee out from various African countries for greener pastures to those European and Asian countries? What advice will you give to anyone that wants to travel out from Africa countries? Do you think they can make it here? What should they do up there? What are there that you think they can achieve them here?
Well, like I said, it goes back to education. I don't mind us going abroad to get the education, as long as you bring it back home. That's the thing. As long as you bring that education back home to your people and teach them, that's the main thing. So that's #1. As long as you get the education on the infrastructure and on the currency and on the all the kind of technology, as long as you bring that back home, I don't have a problem with education, because a lot of our leaders went abroad to study, and they brought that wisdom back. So that's just no problem.
And what about those in here that they study, they get a little knowledge and go there, or especially our nurses and doctors? If I was reading, I was having a conversation with Mr. Archie, and he was like, the best doctors in America come from Nigeria. So I was like, okay, but when you come back home and you go to most of our hospitals, especially the government one, if you don't take it, you can die.
Right.
But when you go to our private sector, because there's money, because you're paying, you'll be well taken care of. Okay. So how about our nurses, our doctors that get the knowledge but still want to be there because of the money or the income? What can you say about that too?
Well, that's a tough question. It's I believe one way is if the government is paying for someone to go abroad, then they have to come home and practice for a couple of years before they can go back abroad and practice.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. You know, the government, if they give a grant to someone to study abroad medication, they should be able to come back 2 or 3 years, give it to the people,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
and then go.
Yeah, I
Then go
think that
abroad.
that law won't be
Yeah.
bad at all. It will help us. So
Right.
if our government, please, if you are listening, please consider this because we don't want to die. Yeah, please. Okay. And again, what advice or what can you say to convince someone who is up there or to any Black American who doesn't want to visit Africa at all? What can you say to convince them to at least come and visit and have a look?
Your home is calling you. Your people is calling you. Your roots are calling you. Come back. Come back and visit. They love you. They want you. They need you.
There's no place like home, no matter what. So, let me ask. I know you're back right now, and right now it's all about relaxing and having fun for now, right? So, where do you have on your list to chill, to relax, or what's your plan?
I might visit my boy in Kamasi for a day or two.
Okay.
Go to the Volta region from the lake.
Okay.
Go to Pram Pram and go to Cape Coast to see my homeboy Jason.
So that's where he has in mind to visit. And those places, I tell you, they are more relaxing, refreshing, and peaceful to be. It's really very neat and clean. So my last but one question. What are some of the memorable highlights you have experienced in Ghana?
Well, the name changing. When I went to Kumasi and they gave me the name changing, there was the name change ceremony. That was very touching. I felt it in my soul, and they told me that I was now a Ashanti man. So that was very it was very moving. And secondly, we going to Cape Coast to the slave castle, seeing what our brothers and sisters had and went through before they were thrown on the ship. There was another touching thing that really got to me. It shows how the devil cannot keep us down because I came back.
We came back, we are conquering Africa, we are taking over. So let's have hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder, and make Mother Africa a great one piece. I'm your host, Stasi Reyes. Look out for me on Instagram, Irabna12, Instagram, and TikTok, Stasi_Reyes. Don't forget the channel name. We belong in Africa. As I always say, there's no place like home. See you when I see you. Bye-bye.
But that's it.